Welcome back. Part 5, Episode 6, June 23rd, 2022. Madison and I got things ready for me to leave to go to beep, beep. Before I leave her, we went to the cemetery. I need to visit before I leave. I always feel the need to check on things before and after a vacation, and also after storms. 1:08 p.m. I pulled up to Wyatt. We sat with him for a little bit and I talked with him. I prayed to him that the Attorney General will do the right thing by the people. When I pulled up to Megan, everything looks all right. I prayed to her and I asked her to help the Attorney General to do the right thing. I took some pictures, and as I pulled away, Madison and I prayed to our angels that they let us have a safe and well weekend for Madison's graduation party weekend. I left. I'm on my way. I arrived about 4:30 p.m. It's a safe trip down. I found my sister Susie. She was looking for the cabin, and I was too. We ran into each other not too far from where we were bunking for the night. It's such a nice, fond memory of how we found each other. Later in the evening, Jen and the girls arrived, and we visited with them for a while before everyone getting ready for bed. And I thank God for this day. June 24th, 2022. The graduation party has begun. June 25th, 2022. Party day. June 26th, 2022. The party went so well, and I know everyone that came will have so many memories for years to come and so on. And I'm so happy and thankful for the ones that did show. Thank you all. I was back in the city by 4 p.m. On my way home, I went to the cemetery just to check in and check on things. 4:23 p.m. I took some pictures and sat with my angels for a little while, taking a breather. I needed it. When I got home, Susie and Madison were already back, and I'm happy to see they made it safely. Thank you. Susie will be staying the week with us so I can hang out with my great nephew. He is turning 11, and he is an awesome kid. June 27th, 2022. These next few days I spent the time with Susie and Rylan. June 29th, 2022. We went to the trading post in beep, beep. Susie went with us the time before she had come to visit in 2013. So of course she wanted to take her grandson Rylan this time. And it's a good day. June 30th, 2022. Today we waited until it cooled off some before we left, but we went to visit the cemetery and then to beep a soda pop store. 5:25 p.m. I pull up to Wyatt. We get out of the car and sat with him to visit him. Susie to pay her respects. Zoe and Lily and Madison came too. We were in two separate cars though. I did pull off the crusty dirt that was stuck to the cement slab around his headstone. It does need to be cleaned, and I will do that as soon as it cools off. I pulled up to Megan next. I took some pictures. We stood under the tree talking with her. I was explaining to Susie a little bit of what's going on, and she said she had pictures of the damage in the cemetery from the storm in 2013. After we got back in the car, she showed me, and while I sat there looking over at Megan and praying to her and Wyatt, I skimmed through her pictures. My gosh, there was a lot of damage. That's when they changed the light poles along the fence line on the west side of the cemetery. And the reenacting picture of the day of her funeral and the pictures of where the north and south trees sat lines right up with the existing tree, which is Megan's tree, the south tree, which I already knew that. July 1st, 2022. Susie and Rylan left to go home. It was really a nice visit. Susie stayed in touch while driving, and I was so relieved. July 2nd, 2022. Today is cleanup day. I need to get the bed linens clean, clean the house, and get things back to normal. 2:08 p.m., Madison and I went to the cemetery. Everything seems okay, and I'm good with that. 2:36 p.m., I pulled up at Megan's and I took some pictures, and I have to continue to take the pictures, especially with it not being settled yet, and they haven't owned up to anything. So I just feel I have to. 6:56 p.m., Susie and Rylan made it home. Thank God. July 4th, 2022. Happy Independence Day. We had a small barbecue, then Madison, me, her friend Tiana, and Carla went to watch fireworks. We had a good time. And thank you, dear God, for this day and every day. Bless the Attorney General to do the right thing for the people. Bless us to be safe from evil. Bless us to be well. In 3 more days, the Attorney General will have had my file for 30 days from June 8, 2022, not May 26, 2022, when they originally received it. God be with us, be with them. July 6, 2022. My heart is so heavy this morning. I had to ask God to calm it, and I pray He will help the Attorney General to do the right thing for the people involved. I ask for myself to be well and protect all of us from evil. I started my morning by visiting with my daughter Nicole. I love my baby. She had come by before going to the stores because Madison wanted to go with her. They left, and I was able to sit, reflect, and think. I know if I don't hear anything in the next 2 days from the Attorney General's office, I will have to find another way and represent this now as beep has failed the people. How do I do this? Who do I trust? Sometimes when I read certain verses or scriptures, I see where God doesn't put this on you. He puts it in your life to become closer to Him. And I believe that to be true. And I do know things in my life have had their own challenges. And sometimes I have to ask why. Then I was handed this. And I believe I have done everything that has been asked of me. And I know I have missed a couple things, and I am sorry for that. But I don't know if I can handle any more over the end of this. At times, I would say this. I can't handle any more kicks in the teeth, in the face. And yet, if something hasn't worked out, I move on to something else. God, I'm asking, when is enough enough? When can it be over to be done the right way and the right for the people? When will I be able to believe that life cannot be this harsh? Help me to know. 2 more days. July 8, 2022. When I woke up this morning, I felt a heavy heart, the feeling I would get when it seems as though I'm not doing enough. And I pray to God. Then I thought, today is 1 month since the Attorney General called and admitted they had the file. They picked it up on May 26, but said they didn't know where it belonged, and I haven't heard anything. 10:36 a.m. when I checked the mail, I was really hoping to receive a letter from the Attorney General, but there's nothing, and that is not a bad thing, I hope. No news is good news. 12:48 p.m. I did look up information for B News to see what I need to do to send an email or information to them about the story. I will keep reaching out until I hear otherwise. And I pray for the Attorney General office to do the right thing. Between 8 and 10 p.m., I watched a segment on channel Beep, the story of Beep and Beep. I watched, and as I did, I saw the newscasters, investigative reporters, legal analysts, and a true crime TikToker. I started writing down their names and information on how to contact them. I had a full sheet. When the show was over, you already know I cried. I prayed for them and their families. I prayed that if I send the information to any of them, I pray they will help. Man, this is not easy. God be with me. I ask that not being selfish, but I need the help. Because, see, God, no matter how many people I talk to or have talked to, no one seems to take the time to look at it. No one seems to take the time to care to help. So give that to me, and I don't have to involve anyone else to help me. July 9th, 2022. It's a Saturday morning, and the morning air is awesome. I can hear the birds chirp. I can hear a lawnmower. I hear a little dog barking. But even with all the noises, it's awesome. After I saw the postmaster drop the mail in the box, I'm praying that if there is a letter in there from the Attorney General's office, please bless it to be a positive one. I went to the front porch to get the mail, and yet again, no news is good news. No news, no letter, no response. The day is quiet. And of course, you know I cry. I prayed for all of us. July 10th, 2022. Will there ever be a day of stress free, worry free? God, give that to me. Dear God, there are some things in my life that need to change. Guide me to know what is best, best for all of us, best for my babies. I need guidance to finish this for you. I need strength to be a force to get it done, with or without anyone's help. I need the courage to have the right words and actions to do this. Help me to help the people rest. 10:32 a.m. this morning while talking with my brother John, he asked, "Have you heard anything from anyone?" I said, "No, I haven't heard anything." He said, "Not about the cemetery either?" I said, "No, and Friday was 1 month. They gave the city 30 days. They gave me 30 days. Then again, they gave me 30 days, and I sent it in to them not getting it. Then they gave me some more time to call me on June 8th, telling me they have it. So I figure I may hear something within 30 days, but I haven't. And it's okay, because the longer it takes, the better it is, I think. And I will wait a little while. I don't hear anything. I will write letters to some legal analysts, news reporters that I saw on a program Saturday night. And I will pray before I write, and God and my angels will sit with me and sit down with me with paper and pen like they have throughout all of this. I said, I may be the one sitting down with paper in hand, but it's God and my angels pushing the pen. John said, "Wow, that's good, sis. Will you be ready to go public?" I said, "Yes, I could be." He said, "You'll hear something soon." I said, "I hope so, because at times, Brother John, it is tough." He said, "You will." We talked about other things and then hung up. I went outside to sit in the sun to capture some of that natural sunlight, vitamin D. I netted the pool and checked the chemicals. When I was done, I stood at the end of the pool overlooking the neighbor's fence, and above his tree line, I looked up and saw a white bird flying above the trees. I got in the pool and swam for a little while, not thinking too much about the bird, except that it was really pretty, white as cotton. It was a beautiful bird. When I got out, my phone rang, and it was my brother John again. We talked for a little while longer, and as he sat on his back patio, he said, "I just saw a white bird, a dove, fly over." He told me, "Wow, sis." I said, "I saw one too just a little bit ago." He said, "You did?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to look it up to see what the meaning is to it." 11:21 a.m. I did, and from what I understand, it means their presence is a sign that one should be hopeful and peace will prevail. To focus on the peace it brings to your heart. It may be a sign of blessings and prosperity. A white bird, especially a dove, means love. They are equated to gentleness, kindness, and love, and bring positive things in your life. And I was happy with what I read. And I'm sure there are other meanings, but that is what I read and understood. 4:11 p.m., Madison and I left to go to the cemetery. The sun is shining and it is hot, but we went to drive through at the very least, just checking things out. I pulled up to Wyatt. We sat in the car looking over at him. I asked him to help me with Sissy. I asked him to watch over Sissy and his mom and dad, and of course I asked him to watch over Madison and I and our friends and family. I told him I loved him and I pulled away. I pulled up to Megan, and I did pass a few young kids that I pray to. I talk to when I'm here. I talked to Megan and I took some pictures and sat with her. I got tears in my eyes and looked around the area. Most flowers were gone. It looks like they mowed the grass and shredded up the flowers that they left laying all over the ground in the area. Really? July 11th, 2022. I thanked God when my eyes opened. When I checked the mail today, no news. 11:42 a.m. I was sitting on the glider swing on the patio when I heard a soft voice say, "Thank you." I got tear in my eyes, and I heard it again. I looked at the pool and the sky past it and said, "You're welcome." I started to cry and said, "You are so very welcome, Megan. All of you are welcome." I sat there consuming it all in, and I thought, wow, I can't believe at this time it could be over. July 12th, 2022. Nothing again today. Bless the Attorney General of Beep to do the right thing by the people. When I was done writing this, I looked up the time and it was 4:44 p.m. I said, "Thank you, my angels." I know they are watching over me, over all of us. July 13th, 2022. Today we didn't do anything but hang out by the pool. Nicole, Zoe, and Lily, we swam all afternoon. And it's really nice just to kick back with them and let them be who they are. We had a good time, and I know they did too. After they left to go home, I was able to sit back and thank God for the day. July 14th, 2022. I do not feel well this morning. I did, I think, for a few minutes when I woke up. I thanked God for waking me up, and the bed was spinning. It made me feel nauseated. My head's hurting. I waited a few minutes, and after I felt the bed stop spinning, I laid there and prayed. I didn't understand what was going on. After I felt better, I got up to use the restroom. Had to hurry and go lay back down. I laid in bed until a little before noon. When I got up, it was like I was starving. So I made some tuna, and after I ate, I felt better. When I was ready and Madison got ready, we went to the cemetery. 1:12 p.m. we left, and when we arrived at the cemetery, there were cars in the far back side, but no one by Wyatt or Megan's areas. When I pulled up to Wyatt and was sitting with him, a white city truck hauling a bulldozer pulled up on the west side of the cemetery and pulled through the gate at the east side of the street, past Wyatt. We watched. He parked and I pulled away from Wyatt and went around to see Megan. I pulled up to Megan and I took some pictures, and everything looked all right in her area. It does bother me, though, how they mow the grass and they just run anything and everything over and leaves it laying in the ground. I still say, no respect. Megan and Wyatt. Today, July 14th, 2022. It's your mommy's birthday. Watch over her and help her to have the best blessed day ever. Bless her to be happy, happy in life. Watch over her. Keep her strong, guide her to do the right things, good things for her and your sisters. Bless them to be well and stay strong-minded. Love you, Mommy. Babies. Thank you, my angels. In your own way, show Mommy you are with her today. Help her to know, acknowledge it in a feeling, a soft voice, in a touch. Show her, babies. I love you, Nana's angels. Thank you. No news yet. Am I supposed to be doing something, anything more? Megan Wyatt God, help me to know if I am. 3:51 p.m. I called my brother John back from when he called earlier, and when we were on our way to the cemetery, he had called and I had to call him back to explain. I asked if Gail or him had talked to Summer when they took the car in. John said, I didn't go, but Gail said Summer talked to her. I said, oh, she did? John said, yeah, Gail said Summer said she was going to get someone up to work on it with her, her mom, her grandmother, or maybe it was her grandfather or somebody that's in the official position. I said, really? He said, yeah. And I said, oh, wow, that would be awesome. John asked, it's Nikki's birthday today, right? I said, yes, it is. He wanted to call her to wish her a happy birthday. So I three-wayed the call and he got to sing happy birthday to her. And Nicole was really appreciative. It was such a nice gesture. Thank you, John. They talked, catching up, and then we hung up. And I do pray Nicole has a great day. And we love you, baby. July 15th, 2022. It's Friday. Another week, no news. I remember past experiences I affirm with what has happened. And yes, I have a problem of someone misleading me. Do not, I repeat, do not say you will help me and then don't. Just please don't do that. I sit here thinking, realizing the relationship between God and I know we have an awesome relationship now, and I thank you for that. July 17th, 2022, 6:21 p.m. Patty called. We talked for about 20 minutes and she asked if I had heard anything and I told her no, and I am looking at it as no news is good news. She said that's a good way to look at it until you hear something. I said I have to keep my head and thoughts clear. I have to stay away from the negativity and look forward to what is about to happen. She agreed and she caught up me with what has been going on with her, and we didn't talk much longer and hung up. I spent my day in my thoughts of what to do if I get a negative letter from the Attorney General. And I thank you, God, for all you do. 9:35 p.m. Lisa called. She was going to work and wanted to talk until she got there. She asked, have you heard anything? I said no. I told her about a few things that I was told about what to do next, and she agreed. She said, you will have to do anything and everything. I said, oh, I know I will, and I will if I have to. We talked a few minutes longer, and when she arrived at work, we said goodbye. July 18th, 2022, 10:52 a.m. I went to the mailbox, and when I saw the letter from the Attorney General office, I kind of laughed. I laughed because I was just being asked about it, and then today I heard something. I said, oh crap. I held it in my hands and prayed to God for it to be good news. I sat down on the couch and I opened it. The Attorney General has conducted what they could do, more or less, they were saying. The city now knows who I am. They had a response, but not a very good one. But they had a response. 11:01 a.m. I sent Summer a message letting her know of the letter. I wrote, good day, Summer. I don't know if you jumped ship on me, but I wanted to share their response with you to see what advice you could give me. 11:11 a.m. I wrote, I got a letter today. I needed an attorney. Help. Should I go to beep, beep, or any other states around? Beep, and go to the news. 11:13 a.m. I wrote, I got this response today. I wrote it to Jen. Jen wrote, what the hell? I wrote, so first, they lied about not knowing me and no repercussions. Now only telling half the response to the story. So what the hell is right? Jen wrote, "This is complete bullshit." I wrote, "Yes, it is. I'm looking up addresses to reporters in other states. I'm going to even send letters to the news stations in beep, beep." This makes me so darn mad right now. Any suggestions? Anything? Jen wrote, "I would consider contacting some civil attorneys, like in their letter just for a free consultation, but also write letters to the national news stations." I wrote, "Yes, I am. I am going to keep reaching out." Jen wrote, "I've got a question. Down there, do you pay for the plot at the cemetery like we do here?" I wrote, "Yes." Jen wrote, "Well, even though they removed Megan's headstone and her casket, even though we know it's not hers, you still own the plot. So make sure you watch the area so they don't try to sell it to someone else." I wrote, "Oh, I am. And I still take pictures every time I'm there. I found a phone number for a reporter. It's 12:30 there, so I will wait until lunch is over and I'm going to call. She's a legal analyst." Jen wrote, "That sounds like a plan." I wrote, "I'll let you know." 11:40 a.m. Summer wrote, "I have not jumped ship on you. I'm sorry. I've had so much going on here, between wanting to quit my job, dealing with getting rid of my car, and trying to figure out my house issues. I've been swamped. It looks like they're not looking to push anything themselves. I would definitely get as many family members with the same issues to join you and see if any of them are willing to speak of it about their own personal experiences with this place." I wrote, "Oh no, I hope all works out for you. And yes, I am going to keep reaching out and do what I can. Would calling news stations outside of beep be premature, you think?" 12:14 p.m. I tried to call beep, beep, but the phone number is not a working number. After the call didn't go through, I sat down and I started to cry from the frustration of it all. Something wouldn't let me cry. And I sat there thinking and thought, "I'm not doing this. God gave me this to be strong to get through this." This was what this was about, and the time frame had gone by, and I know I am strong enough. I can go publicly now. 12:17 p.m. I wrote to Summer. "I have written letters to family names on headstones. I did receive a few calls, but some were where the name was no longer living at that address." While I sat here, I thought, I need to copy the letters from the Attorney General's office. 3:31 p.m. I started copying the letters and legal documents that the city sent back as their response. As I got through some of the papers copying them, when I got to the admittance map that I received on January 16, 2019, I noticed the date that was written on the map was a paper the city sent back in their defense. And I thought, I kind of knew when I was copying the papers that they were my legal documents that I sent to the Attorney General's office. Then when I got the admittance paper, I thought, these are my papers. They are my legal documents. Summer wrote, "Contact the civil lawyer in different states first, but ask if they can practice in an beep issue. Just be brief, then move on. Do a search for civil lawyers that practice in beep and any other surrounding states. Once you reach one, the first question would be, can you practice in beep? It's a cemetery matter. Are you interested?" I wrote, "I'm looking for civil attorneys now. I talked with Jen earlier and she gave me an idea, but she's not aware we already did all that. And I told her the outcome of that. She was at work, but will contact me later." and I have a plan to travel around beep, starting with beep, finding an attorney or news station. Beep will be next. I gotta keep going. So I went from not knowing me to reply to a part of the story, but not facts. It's really odd of their response. And no details of any proof of any of this even happening. It's, it, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. 4:29 p.m. Patty wrote, "Well, that's an interesting tidbit to tell a lawyer, not knowing the conclusion without any supporting evidence. That's what I planned to start with. I sent the picture of the admittance map. I wrote, just a thought, as I'm copying these papers that were sent to me. I thought these were just copies of my papers. I wrote on top of that paper when I first received this 1-16-19. 4:45 p.m. I finished copying the papers. Receiving the letter today set me back. I thought my work may be done except to tell the truth of the story to who wants to hear it. Now I'm back to writing letters for an attorney. I sit down to write something, and I'm not sure who to or what I was writing, but I wrote. 5:13 p.m. I filed a petition with the Attorney General Office of Beep against the city of Beep in reference to a cemetery flooding and headstones being moved. The city of Beep replied they didn't know me to me sending proof of they do know me. Then they sent a reply with copies of my legal documents. A date on the admittance map, I wrote received on January 16, 2019. I have proof of pictures, reenactment pictures, and overlay pictures proving the headstones have been moved. Please talk with me. Please listen to me. I signed it and I needed to relax. I needed to rest. And I know I still have a fight on my hands, but I will see it through. God be with me. 4:29 a.m. Summer messaged. She wrote, I don't know if it will or not. You could call around and see if anyone is interested in covering it before you go to court. Maybe it will get enough publicity before the court hearing. Get people talking about it so there's little more pressure on them to make things right before it goes further. I've never done anything like this before, so I don't want to tell you something and be wrong about how it can turn out. What does everyone around you say about it all? 7:47 a.m. When I woke up and saw Summer's message, I answered her right away. I wrote, everyone tells me to talk to as many as I can. Someone says it's crazy how beep doesn't want to help, even with the facts and the proof. Publicity is exactly what this needs. Do you know of anyone that would listen? Look at the information, as long as it's less than 1,000 miles away from me. And don't worry about me telling me something wrong, because I have tried everything. Should I contact a beep news figure? Beep, beep, someone like that? Summer, thank you. Things get too much there for you. You could come here and help me. And of course I'm laughing, but I know it's not a laughing matter. 8:27 a.m. I sent Jen a message. I wrote, we need publicity. What is a podcast? Someone said, try that. 8:47 a.m. Jen wrote, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? I know of a famous person that does one with a couple of her old cast of a show she was on. Her name is Beep, Beep. She started off as a host of Beep on Beep and then went to acting on a show, and now she does Beep, Beep. I would have to find an email or something for you to contact her. She is a woman that stands up for what she believes and she doesn't hold back. But also, I think you can search podcasts on Facebook. I wrote, oh, please, baby, please. Jen wrote, I am looking, and I can find that she has a Twitter and Instagram account that you can send messages to and let me look if she has a podcast link that I can send you. That might have contact information. I wrote, all right. Jen wrote, I found 2 addresses that you could send letters to, but I'm going to see if she has a link on Facebook for her podcast. They talk a lot about the old show they were on. But the other 2 women, she does it with an outspoken as well, excuse me. Fan mail address, beep, beep, agency for the performing arts, and left me an address. Secondary address she also sent to me. And I wrote, thank you so much, Jen. Jen wrote, here is the link for the Facebook page for the podcast, and you can also send a message through there. Beep, beep, link. Even if they don't put it on their podcast, they may put it all over their social media because Beep has Instagram and Twitter. I wrote, all right, it's worth a try. Anything's worth a try. It's saying log in or create a new account. So log into it. Jen wrote, all right, so go into your Facebook and in the search bar, search for beep, beep, podcast. It should be the first one. I wrote, all right. I looked it up and it showed 3 different pages. I screenshotted the picture and sent it to Jen. I wrote, is this it? Jen wrote, yes. I wrote, all right. 9:06 a.m. I sent Summer a message. I wrote, what's your idea on a podcast? 9:26 a.m. I messaged Samantha, my oldest granddaughter. I wrote, good morning, my babies. I adore all of you. Baby, we need publicity. Do you still want to do a podcast? Someone suggested doing it now. I'm not sure how, but let me know if you want to still. I can come there to get it done. I have to find a news station within 1,000 miles from me to cover the story. These people, now they have a response of knowing me, but only told part of the story. And the papers were mine. I sent to the Attorney General's office. They sent them back as their documents. I only know because I wrote a date on the paper of a map they sent to me back in their defense, and it was my handwriting I wrote on that paper of the date I received it. I said, let me know, baby. 9:38 a.m. I sent Susie a message with a picture of the letter. I wrote, want to build a podcast? I got a response. Then as I'm copying papers the city sent in their reply, it was on the front and back side of the papers, and I noticed the date on the paper. I wrote that date on the admittance map. They are my legal documents. They were used in their defense. I'm going to be soon, but we need publicity. Publicity big time. Do you know anyone that's less than 1,000 miles away? Susie wrote, wow, I will check on how to start a podcast. I wrote, please, sister. You know, I have no idea. I'm getting the ideas, but I need help with it. Thank you, and I love you lots. Susie wrote, I will help you with it. I will check into it after work and I will call you. I wrote, all right, and thank you so much. 10:02 a.m., Samantha replied, oh, wow, Nana. They thought they were in the clear, so they had to come up with something. Yes, we can, Nana. Let me look to see how and what to do with a podcast. Shoot, even starting to put your story on TikTok. Maybe if you want to see how that would go. I wrote anywhere, anything. We need publicity. I read her the letter and I told her about the map. I wrote my legal document I sent in my file And I know because I wrote the date in the corner of when I received it. Samantha wrote, wow, I can tell that's your handwriting too. Them, beep, beep, beep. Yeah, they probably threw it away, thinking you wouldn't come back because Megan is out there. I wrote, you know it. They just keep digging themselves deeper and deeper. That's why I'm told to go public. I know they destroyed it all thinking no one will come to look, but this old hag ain't going nowhere. Someone wrote, Samantha wrote, excuse me. Yep, that's exactly it. I'm honestly starting a TikTok and posting a 3 minute or 10-minute video explaining everything and starting from the beginning and posting maybe 2 or 3 videos on the subject a day or however many times to leave the story in a good spot until you're ready to do more, but also leave people wanting to know more would be a good idea. Also, it'd be great to show your emotions there because people love that too. You'll have to come up with a name for the TikTok and a biography or description that explains why you posted on TikTok. But it's not like Facebook, where only your friends can see it. When it's TikTok, it gets thrown into a whole TikTok web for anyone to see. We'll have to figure out trending hashtags and stuff like that. But overall, it's a simple process. And even if we find, excuse me, a podcast in the meantime, we could do the TikTok because there might be a waiting list for a podcast. I'm not actually sure how they work, but I'll look into it for you, Nanette. I wrote, all right, please, let's do that. I was just thinking I'm going to go to the cemetery and do a video telling the story. Baby, please help me. I don't want to sound like I'm begging, but I can't do it all on my own. Okay, and Aunt Sue just messaged and said she will help get the podcast started. She will call me after work. Are you working or when will y'all be down next? I can come there with all the information. It's ready. We gotta go public big time. And thank you, baby. Samantha wrote, I am, and I work until Thursday, but guys are working Friday to Sunday. You might not even have to make a trip. I can set up the TikTok account and you can record the video where you would like to start. I mean, if it's easier for you to come up to go over all of this, that's fine too. But maybe next weekend we'd be down in the city about the 29th to the 31st. And I've got TikTok already set up, post a video like an introduction and just go over quickly what you'll be posting. I wrote, all right, we will just play it by ear then, and you start it. I'm going to do the video after 5 in the afternoon. No one will be there. No city people anyway. Yes, do what you are suggesting and travel when we have to. And thank you, Samantha. I love you and tell my babies I love them and the big ones too. And I'm still here thinking, like, what is TikTok and how does it work? And just now it hit me. That's a funny video. Videos of people doing silly stuff, putting stuff in each other's food. That will go all over. That's another thing we will need. 10:26 a.m. I know I've been mad and I've been disappointed in all of this. It just seems like a lot of people tell me I will help you, but it doesn't seem like they do, or they will for a time being, and then nothing. But for some reason, I have to come to realize today that they have all helped. They helped in their own way. The suggestions were greatly appreciated. And thank you, Madison, Samantha, Patty, Susie, Carla, Lisa. And I started to cry and I said, thank you, Jen. And yes, I have been aggravated through all of this, and I have been frustrated. But I really do realize the help. And thank you to all. 10:44 a.m. Samantha wrote, all right, Nana, that sounds good. You can send all the videos to me, and one at a time in order would help a lot too, since you know all the details. and I don't want to get them mixed up, so you can date them like May 2015, August 2015, or something along those lines. Going over major events that took place. Just be natural talking into the phone. It's kind of weird to me, but show emotions when they come up. Stop the video, gather your stuff, and start again from where you end the last video. Or if not, I could edit those videos for you. Just act like you're talking to me or even Megan and God. Whatever you feel comfortable thinking about when you talk about the situation. Yeah, it's known for dumb, stupid shit, but there's all kinds of stuff on there. One lady even helped to crack a cold case of who was her mother's killer there because the right people saw the video. So I believe it will hit off there. It may take a few weeks to get a lot of views, but once people get interested, it will be worldwide. I wrote, yes, I will try to do one or two a day. And yes, I will date them. And yeah, I see different stuff on there. And yes, anything that will work. I think I will take off too, especially getting people's attention to watch the next episode or whatever it's called on there. And yeah, baby, we can do this. And thank you lots. Samantha wrote, yes, sounds like we got it. Yeah, and all kinds of stuff on there. And you are welcome, Nana. And I love you. My message was sent at 11:11 a.m. Samantha circled the time on the message. Samantha wrote, did you plan that? I wrote, no, I didn't even notice. It means to make a wish, though. Samantha sent the meaning of 11:11. New beginnings. And when you see it, it indicates you are on the right track. I wrote, oh, wow. I've been making a wish when I see it. Wow, baby, we were meant to see that. Samantha wrote, well, it makes sense. You focus on a wish that probably helps it come true. I wrote, yes, and we see that lets us know. TikTok is on the right track. And Susie is looking into a podcast, and she is supposed to call me later. Samantha wrote, yes, and I'll be right on it. And it all sounds good. I wrote, all right, baby, and thank you so much. Does TikTok do pictures? Like if I hold them up in a video or show them in some way? Samantha wrote, yeah, we can make a slide or something. I'll have to keep and see what all the little things are that we can do. I wrote, all right. 11:37 a.m. summer message. She wrote, honestly, there was no publicity on the crazy stuff that happened here until someone on a podcast caught wind of it. Now there's people from all over talking about it. It wouldn't hurt to try reaching out to as many as you can. That's more of a chance for it to go viral. If I think of something, I will definitely let you know. And if I could come down there, I would. I wrote yes, and anything you can find out. We got to get it out there. We got to get loud. And thank you, Summer. I will start the video. I have pictures, but I'm trying to think of a way as I'm doing the video to put the pictures in to describe what it looks like before and now. 12:42 p.m. I sent another message to Samantha. I wrote, the temperature here today, so being out at the cemetery for me will be impossible, but I'm going to try to do as much as I can in the evening hours as the weather cools off. 1:11 here today. Samantha wrote, oh wow, yeah, that's super hot. Stay safe, Nana. I wrote, we will get it, but it needs to be cooler outside. We are thinking of how to start it, and I am thinking. As we pull in, show the year since the cemetery has been there. Then show headstones and talk about the day we buried Megan there. Madison's thinking too of how to start it, so any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Samantha wrote, all right, I'll let you know. I wrote, all right, and thank you, baby. Samantha wrote, that sounds good though, like you're gonna do like a documentary. I mean, that's what it is essentially. I wrote, yeah, then we can go into how we visit out there over the years, and then go into the day of the flood, the day the headstones were moved. Then I will demonstrate the tree with the headstones there. Then in 2015, the flood moved the headstones. On the TikTok, could we put the overlay picture? Samantha wrote, that sounds really good. And yes, we can put the overlay picture. I wrote, all right, good. I'm just running ideas by you so I know where to begin at. Samantha wrote, yeah, I'm thinking too, but what you're saying sounds really good. I sent her the thumbs up. 7:02 p.m. I ran by the post office to mail some letters, and on the way there Susie called. 7:13 p.m. Susie called. She told me she would call me after work. She then hung up. 7:14 p.m. Susie called back. She wanted to let me know what she had found and how to build a podcast. She was telling me other information, and she told me she would call me back about 8:30 her time. I said, all right, and we hung up. I drove to the cemetery. 7:36 p.m. I pulled into the cemetery, and it looks as though I'm the only one here, and I like it like that. I pulled up to Wyatt, and of course I cried a little, and I asked him to watch over all of us, and I took a picture. 7:44 p.m. I pulled up to Megan's area, and I took pictures. There are oars in some of them, at least 5 of the pictures. I even tried to recreate the picture of the day of her funeral without having the picture on hand, but I can already tell my proof is accurate. I just wish they would quit playing games and sit down and talk to me. Sit down and look at the information and let's work together to fix it. I sat with her for a few minutes talking with her, and I love you, my angels. I pulled away and left the cemetery. I drove home. 8:23 p.m. I sent Jen a message. I wrote, any suggestions on a name for a podcast? Jen wrote, to start a podcast or other podcast? I wrote, to start one, I have to have a name for it. Jen wrote, is this to talk about just the cemetery case or a little of everything? I wrote, for now, just the cemetery, to take it public. I'm checking into it, but I did see I have to have a name for it. Jen wrote, how about tribute to the little angels? I wrote, oh, that's perfect. Thank you. I knew I had to ask you. Jen wrote, you're welcome. I just know that if you start a podcast, you could do great things with it to help others to get cases and issues noticed. I wrote, yes, and we could later on use it for other things. Jen wrote, yes, and thank you, and I love you lots. 8:32 p.m. Susie called. We talked for about 3.5 hours. We worked on getting the podcast set up. We did quite a bit, and a few times when we were writing the descriptions, I got chills. We went to work. We got the podcast set up. 9:54 p.m. Susie sent me a copy of the description of the case on the podcast. She did a good job. She says, we did a good job. The description. Tribute to all little angels. A 7-year fight, May 7th, 2015. One man's fib led to this. The city disputes headstones have been moved. I started my own investigation from the time, and city disputed the matter until present time. I compared pictures to probing where they said they cut down a tree that never stood there. The story goes on with much more details and photos of proof, reenactment pictures, and an overlay picture. It's led to be very heart-wrenching. 10:13 p.m. Susie sent the page of the podcast where we already filled in the information. 10:28 p.m. Susie sent her email address. We were getting tired, so we finished up for the night, and Susie said, I will call you tomorrow afternoon after I get off work, and we will set up Zoom. We hung up. While I was talking to Susie, I received a message from Summer at 10:59 p.m. Summer wrote, "I'll try to think of a good way to organize it too. I was thinking that the state of beep, keeping it simple with a few pictures would be good. Definitely need all the pictures you can get if you're going to put them on blast. I wonder if any of the other families would have photos they took years ago to compare to where things are now. That would help a lot too. A different family with a different position in Babyland, or even in other spots there. When I have time, I'll try to remember to take my laptop to work so I can connect to the Wi-Fi and download everything you've sent me and see what I can put together. We have been extremely busy at work, and I've been busy at home too, so I don't want to make a promise on a timeline, but I will try my hardest to help with what I can get done. Let me know if any other family members are willing to share photos, and we can make a few different files. And I thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me at Emily McMahon, lowercase letters EMILY, McMahon, MCMAHAN, 208 at gmail.com. Thank you and stay kind with your words.